Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Love and Enlightenment.
Evening blessings and salutations.
He well happy tonight. Boy, I
I
tell
sure
you.
am. I sure am. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I've been busy, man. I've been busy. A lot of work. A lot of good things for the community. So yeah, I've been busy.
Excellent.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Chrisette, thank you for joining us
Thank you
tonight.
for having me. That's awesome.
Yes, Grisette, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you.
I'm trying to do administrative stuff. So while I'm doing that, was there any post that you all saw in the group or just on social media that you want to talk about? Go ahead, Mr. Llanos.
So Pinky put up this post, and it's we've seen this one before. As a matter of fact, we talked about this on one of our previous show. Pinky put up this post about a young lady rather, um, proposing to a gentleman, and apparently he declined and he walked off with another young lady. I guess at the
My
party with
stomach hurting me just hearing it all over again.
so my 2 cents to that is I really don't want to be
Hey,
cold hearted.
Marley.
I don't want to be cold hearted or anything, but take that. Take that. Here's the thing.
To the woman?
Hey, yes, let me say this, and let me tell you why. We always talk about, marriage proposals and things like that. Nobody thinks about when the man gets rejected. Nobody talks about when the man gets rejected. So if the woman is going to prepare to do that, prepare to be rejected also. It works
In
both
that
ways.
way, though? In that
It
way?
works. It doesn't matter. It works both. Rejection is rejection. I know that's a little rough. It's a little coarse. It may be a little coarse, but that should have been. You take that type of a chance. Men go through this all the time.
So
Men,
because men don't go through it all the
no,
time,
no, Pinky, don't do that. It's not because men go through all the time.
so
Know
you
that
say women don't get rejected, Janos? That's what you're saying?
I'm
I
talking
remember
about
I was falling
proposals.
asleep or wake
I'm
up now,
talking.
Grisette.
I'm talking about proposals. I'm talking about the
And
proposal
what
to
are you
marriage.
saying? That women don't always do this kind of thing to men? Like, we don't deal with rejection every day. Women don't deal with rejection
How
all the
often
time.
do you
How
find?
about
How
a woman who
often?
waiting
How
for the man to
often do you
propose and
find
he won't
women
propose?
proposing?
Wait. Don't talk over each other, then nobody could hear you.
How often
Yeah,
do
I
you
was
find
falling
women
asleep two
proposing?
seconds ago, right?
All I'm saying is, if you're going to go forward with it, be prepared to
How
either
could
be
you
rejected.
justify?
What do you mean? How you could justify,
How
Pinky?
you could justify what a man do to that woman? Ah, you see the video, and you need to watch it. It's only as a quick
Because
video.
again, hold on. This is two parts. I agree with the fact that that's a bit coarse. Yes. Me talking about that. I talking about the fact that she proposed and she was rejected. I know the way that I went about it was a little rough, but still,
Women don't
that's
get
not.
rejected
But
every day,
men go through that.
Janos.
But men go through that all the time.
And so we don't get rejected. I gotta feel sorry for us when we get rejected. What about a woman who gets around for the man, waiting for it to marry, and he won't marry, and he can't marry somebody else? That
We don't know the
rejection.
details.
It might not
We don't
come in
know
the
the
form of a
details.
proposal,
We
but
don't
it's
know the
rejection
details.
nonetheless. How
We don't
about a
know the
woman who?
details.
No, no.
We don't know the details. But guess what? You propose, you get rejected, move on.
Oh my gosh, Janos. Whatever. Women don't get
Maybe.
rejection every day. It may not
Maybe.
come in the form of a proposal. We going down on our knees asking, and maybe we ain't got the guts to do that, but with as much rejection as we don't deal with in life. Come on.
Men go through rejection also. Why are you making this a male female thing about rejection?
You the one making it
No,
male
rejection
female.
happens. I am talking about the fact that she was rejected during a proposal. That is it. Men get rejected all the time during a proposal. Why? Because men generally do most of the proposing. But now that a
Bridget,
woman,
did you
now that a
reject your
woman
husband?
proposes,
I didn't reject mine.
now
He
that a
didn't reject. Or
woman
what is this
proposes,
everyday
now that a
situation?
female proposes, she gets rejected, it's a big deal. Come on.
Come on.
That was filled with a
Baby, what a
whole lot. I told Trina earlier that I don't even like looking at things like that because for me, that's just not me. But
Okay.
Then again,
Hey, Karen,
honestly,
love.
It could have looked a little staged, to be honest with you.
Pinky
It could have
Hot.
looked staged.
Yeah, Pinky got a little hot just now, caught. I just don't understand how Janos could justify this kind of behavior. I
Rejection.
Okay, so Louis, what you're saying is that you were commenting on the fact that she just got rejected, but you're not commenting on the whole.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I probably listen. If you're me, I was rejected. I probably want to do the whole thing.
We are talking about a video where a woman went down on her knees to propose to a guy. He stood up. He walked away from her, and another lady was sitting there, and she got up, and she and him walked out the door together. But then the girl father stopped at the door and wanted to fight. And Yano's first response to it, to those who's like Pinky Hot, yes she is, was, there you go. Men that get rejected all the time.
Proposals, yes. Remember,
you hear what Kurt said? You heard what Kurt said?
What?
He said that was the first problem.
Yep.
And I'm in agreement.
Yes, she went down on her knees and asked. You're right. That was the first. That's why I said women stay off your knees.
You got to be prepared to go. It could go either way. Be
Women
prepared for the end result. Be prepared for the end result.
What? Again, to me, I always try to find a positive. That was a blessing in disguise. That was obviously something that wasn't supposed to.
She dodged a hell of a
anyway. So
yeah, but whether it was a blessing in disguise, just. I don't put myself in other people's shoes. Like it's just awful to do something like that to somebody. And then she didn't even get just one rejection, she get two because he get up and he walk away with another woman. Well, my piece. I don't think I would have been able to come back after that. That was a blow in her
Let me
face.
ask you this, Pinky. Let me ask you this. How many weddings have grooms been left at the altar when another man come and sweep the bride away? Isn't that the same type of rejection? That's even worse. So
listen,
don't try that. Don't try that, Pinky.
Let me interject. Karita said she asked if we watch a show called Marry Me Now.
No, I've never watched it.
And she said that is the premise behind the show. The women stay getting rejected. Yucks.
Again, how many men have been left at the altar by other men coming and sweeping the bride away? We ain't talking about that.
It doesn't happen a lot, Janos.
And this doesn't happen a lot either. That's where you take what you get.
Women proposing does not happen a lot. No. But women getting rejected. Why are we pretending like women don't get rejected?
Who said many? Who said many? I can't see that.
Kurt said that.
Many men have been left at the altar. Many men.
And many women have gotten left, period. End of story. That is a rejection in itself.
At the end of the day, Pinky, that's what she got. That's what she got.
Okay,
I don't want to make it because you gotta be prepared. Listen, if it would have been beautiful if he said yes, and it was genuine, and he didn't have that other woman. But there's a possibility. There's a 50-50 chance. There's a possibility of the fact that you might be rejected, and that took place. Are you ready and designed to deal with those consequences? That is the question. If you're going to go through it,
obviously they didn't have the relationship she thought that they had because of the fact that he walked off. So
there is no obvious nothing.
Like we said, it's staged. So at the end of the day, we're
stage.
And again, that's why it could have looked staged.
I think that video was staged.
Even if it was staged, let we just say for a minute, like just for a minute, put ourselves in human shoes.
Type of conversation.
These things happen. These things happen is the point. Like it's not outlandish. It's not whether it was staged or not. These things happen.
They do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and okay, like all right. Men don't like women proposing. I get that, but nobody likes no situation like this. Where they gonna be hot in the situation? I just said to myself over and over again, if people would just put themselves in other people's shoes, how that's the golden rule. That's what the Bible teach we, right? Don't do unto others what you don't like to do unto yourself. So for me, I will not sit down and justify nobody getting hurt under no circumstances. Because what I'm saying is, if I was in them shoes, it's okay for it to happen to me, and it's not.
Pinky, have you ever rejected anyone? Let's say in recent times.
Yeah, no,
I'm just curious.
Now we're coming, like now we're coming. Now we're coming.
Listen, we're talking about rejection. Have you? Whether it's now.
Yes, I did, because the person was rude and disrespectful.
Well,
now, if you were rude and disrespectful, what you expect me to do? Like, embrace it? The person was rude. If the person wasn't rude and the person was nice and the person was kind, I wouldn't have rejected them. But you don't be, you were forward. The person actually meet me and put a hand on me. Like, that was out of place.
This is recently?
Oh God! So that's all I'm gonna say. Like, you don't meet people and put your hand on people and then you touching people. Like, you don't do that. That's just rude.
All right.
After introduction, so okay, yes, I did. But you know what? The thing about it is, I let you know. I don't let people know right up front. Like, no, this isn't going to happen. I tell them right up front. You don't do that. You don't just. I said that never happened to me before in my life. How you to just get introduced to somebody and touch them? Would you do something so disrespectful, Janos?
Depends on how. Okay, so the internet doing this echoing thing again. I hear that from last night.
It's fine.
I'm not
mine. Okay.
Thank God.
It depends on how you place that hand. How you play. How depends on the type of touch.
There he goes with Rico Suave.
No, because listen. We're getting into this, we're getting into this conversation tonight. So everything is you gotta be methodical.
What kind of touch? He asked what kind of touch.
God, we don't want to talk about it. Was disrespectful. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It was disrespectful.
Was it like in the small of your back? Was it just above? Like where was it? Was it on the arm? Was it like across the neck but by your cheek? Like where was it?
If it was in any of those locations, it would have been disrespectful. You don't just meet somebody, hi, your name is, my name is this, your name is that, and you go touching people in the smile of their back, or you touching them on the side of their face.
Wait a minute, but suppose it was like a gentle embrace. It was just like a, what? That's disrespectful.
Janos, you like trouble. Okay.
I just say, because I'm a very affectionate person. I like to touch.
You don't touch people when you just meet them, Janos. You don't just put your hand on people when you just meet them.
But it's how it could be a shake, and when you shake, you could hold a hand, and you could be really expressive by touch. It really makes a difference.
Okay,
but if somebody come up,
it wasn't a touch like that at all. It wasn't no smile. It wasn't no gentleness. It was a forward touch that you don't touch people when you just meet them.
Wow. Excuse me. Wow, that's rough. Was this at a party, a boat, right? Anything? Just I'm curious.
Louis, you like trouble.
I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Gigi and Leanne. Leanne bought their blessings. I know you guys had a blast.
It wasn't G. It was Thomas' birthday. You just love trouble.
That's what I said. Leanne bought that. I'll give him a birthday shout. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, somebody said Will Smith special.
No, it wasn't that.
What is that about?
It wasn't. Good evening.
Pinky ain't gonna do that. Pinky ain't gonna do that. Pinky.
That's family.
Pinky's going to decline respectfully.
I will.
Was there any other post that caught anybody's attention? I liked the post that I saw and I shared it in the group, and it says saw a quote that said, "Be the adult you needed as a child, and it changed my whole perspective." And I was like, that is definitely like so impactful. It's just a little bit of words, but when you think about that as a parent, a mentor, whatever, being that kind of adult for the child you needed, for what you needed as a child is like impactful. So I like that. Yeah. Is there anything else before we get to this topic?
I talk myself out. I tired. I host now. I gotta calm down. Jan
Was there anything that you saw,
complimented.
Lisa? Was there any post or anything that you saw, not necessarily even in the group, but in the past week that kind of caught your eye? I saw you put up something today that was pretty good.
I don't know. The post that you both guys mentioned was pretty good. That's what I referenced to. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, tonight, we're supposed to have one more person join us tonight, but maybe he might be able to come on later. I'm not sure. But tonight we wanted to discuss how do you keep your relationship exciting. It's just a fact that people get into relationships, you get married, and for multitudes of reasons, the momentum kind of goes down, for most people, I'm sure, just because life happens, because people get comfortable. But it's obviously something that needs to be priority in a relationship to maintain it and sustain it. Especially, I'm sure Dr. Williams would have had a lot to say about this, as well as Miss Edith and Mr. Leroy, who have both been married for 40 odd years. So I'm sure they had many peaks and valleys. So Grisette, since you are the well, I mean, this is all of us, because this isn't not just in marriage. This is not just in relationships. But one of the things that I've heard people talk about is that, you're in a relationship, who you were in the beginning is obviously not who you are however many years in, right? People change, people evolve, people grow at different pace. If you have kids, that's another aspect of it. Finances. There's just so many things that change it. But as I've learned, if you decide that you want to be in a relationship, that relationship needs to be priority. So you got to put in that work. So what are the things? I'll just read off something quickly. I was looking up something, and it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It said like 10 or 12 things that are necessary in keeping a relationship exciting. Keep the element of surprise alive. Send romantic texts. Schedule regular date nights. Verbalize your loving feelings. Try new things together. Spend time with other couples to reinforce the importance of the commitment. Establish goals together. So that would change, of course, over time. Discuss your hopes and dreams. Ask meaningful questions. And greet one another with excitement. Are there other things that you all think would be like
I would like to start with why relationship don't go stale before we start fixing the problem.
Go ahead.
Gee, Pinky, let's hear this one.
I didn't say I was gonna start. I said let me start.
You just said you want.
Only reason I said that is because I mentioned, but I mean, of course, y'all, I already mentioned mine, like finances,
that's a valid question, though.
life goals, maturity, growth, all those things affect a relationship. And the fact that you met this person, adrenaline is going, that connection is new and whatever. But then again, people get complacent, people get lazy. I have this person has me. What you were doing in the beginning to get this person or attract this person, you no longer do it, or you don't maintain it. So if you all have additional things, somebody said always kiss your spouse when you're coming or going. A simple kiss can change a day.
Right.
Oh, that was Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
Go on with your bad self.
Pinky, I think something that will cause a relationship to go stale. A lot of us, like how Debbie was talking about, we kind of get in a relationship and we set it on autopilot, right? We just hope, okay, we're in this relationship. We just hope it will just go smoothly and just put no effort into it. A lot of the things that you just mentioned, Debbie, requires intentional action, intentionally making a date night, intentionally sending the text messages, intentional effort to relate to your spouse, because as you grow, you're right, you both experience things throughout the day that are going to cause separation, right? You got to intentionally bring it back, you know. So I definitely think being comfortable in the relationship and setting it on autopilot is what causes it to go stale. Already with us, it don't matter. He gonna accept me for how I is, and it don't work so at all.
It's true. You know that one that yeah, people have said that for sure.
It's true. It's true. I have a friend. She has had several sets of twins and another older one in just the last like 5-6 years. And it was interesting to me that she made a comment and she said she told herself, I'm going to work on me because, you know, she's gained a little bit of weight and whatever, but she knows that. And they were married for, I don't know, I think they were married at least 10 years before they started having kids or longer. And her thing is, even though her husband has said, no, you fine, she says to herself, oh no, he could say that, but that's not who he married. That's not who he was dating. And I got to definitely work on that. And I was like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? She's younger than me. So it was like really interesting to hear her say that, because again, like you said, intentional. Because she realized that although he's fine with it, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to stay fine with it, you know?
But when you feel good about yourself, when you take that step, whether it's losing weight, gaining weight, dressing nicer, put on a little makeup, when you feel good about yourself and you desire yourself, you will naturally have that glow about you, which will cause your spouse to be attracted to, like, why is she walking with her chest a little extra high today? She look good. But if you feel ugly or you feel flumpy and you don't feel pretty, it's going to show. If you don't like yourself, how is your spouse going to find you attractive? You know? And that's just the reality. It's
true.
something we all fall into.
This influencer that I follow, she lives here in Tampa. I saw her make a comment the other day that she started recently, like going to Victoria's Secrets and buying lingerie and stuff like that. She was like, she had to get comfortable. You know, I can't remember how many kids, I think 5 or 6 kids, but they're still relatively young. And she was like, I was wearing all this frumpy stuff because it was comfortable. And I guess she too started intentionally dating her husband and not talking about children, talking about finances, expense, whatever, you know. And she started wearing that stuff and she's like, wow, I even feel better just knowing that it's on. So, and we've talked about that in the past too with some of the other married couples in our group. But yeah, these are definite things that, like you said, you're going to admit your happiness and your excitement about yourself and the changes you're making within yourself, and your partner is definitely going to experience that as well. But yeah, but what are other things that you all think cause?
I think a lot of everything I mentioned for sure. But then we got the other side, right? Like I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who's pregnant, right? And I think these is things we'd allow ourselves go sometimes. All of those things, for sure. Sometimes you feel unattractive, and that shows, no doubt about it. But together as a partner, I feel like we have to help each other. Because there are times in the relationship you're going to feel unattractive. We don't feel attractive every single day, right? There are times where you are going to gain weight, right? Your mate, he or she, if she pregnant, she gonna gain weight. She gonna feel attractive. She gonna be in the mood. You don't always be in the mood to wear negligees, you know, because you just ain't in the mood to wear negligee. You ain't always in the mood to go out to date. Yes, we should be intentional, but I just being honest. If you dealt with people for over a long period of time, which I had 4 kids, you dealt with kids all day long. I mean, I was a housewife. People could have said, oh, you could have pulled it together. You was a housewife, you'd at home all day. Yeah, no, I was busy, right? And I think as a partnership, you should be working together to help each other out, understanding the needs and the lacks of each other, right? It's not about, oh, you don't show up for me, is we're not showing up for each other at the end of the day. Because if I'm pregnant or I ain't in the mood, it's not I feeling ugly. It's together. We need to help each other through these, because just like women feeling ugly, a fat man feeling it too, right? What do? Do we make them feel worse? Do we make them feel bad because of their situation where they're going through at the time? You're there with this person every single day. You ain't seeing them once a week. You ain't seeing them once a month. You're seeing them every day. They have to see you in your highs and they have to see you in your lows. It just is impossible for it not to happen. And if they're seeing you in your lows, then you're not being in an authentic relationship. Like my sister was telling me the other day, my nephew never hear his girlfriend pass gas. I mean, this is, and he insists, like, you got to. And she's like, no. Are we showing up? Are we being authentic in the relationship? Because if I go always look good and I go always want to be negligent, I go always want to be in the mood, I am not being authentic. And then I am not showing up for myself. I only showing up for my mate. And that in itself could cause a problem. Because if you only doing things to satisfy your mate constantly, you're not in an authentic relationship and they ain't going to be happy with that. And then you're going to get rejected, Janos, and left.
Really?
Somebody else. Okay.
Really?
So that's just another perspective. You got illnesses, right? I mean, I've had illnesses. I had a girlfriend who had breast cancer. She had breast cancer. She wasn't in the mood, but he showed up for her. He was there by her side. You ain't want to have no sex. They could be months in a relationship. It could be years in a relationship where you're not having no sex. That is not a part of the game because of whatever you're going through in life. We have to be there for the mate. We have to understand what people are going through. We have to be supportive. So everything I just said, but I wanted to add that to it. Janos.
I think actually it's very important to it's bad timing. It's very important to sorry, let me turn this off. Very important to remember where you started. Remember where you started. Yeah, you lose track. All of you said everything that you said. I could only support and it speaks volumes, because yes, life happens like Debbie mentioned. And then you guys said everything happens, but remember where you started. Try to stay on that path as to that first time you met. Take it back to never forget that. That's important. Conversation. I know me from day one. Conversation has always been my thing. I mean, yeah, you're going to see. I'm seeing your lows. I'm going to see you on your highs. But the fact is, you're there, and I'm going to see you. Let me tell you what I used to like to see. I used to like to see them getting ready in the mornings.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it with your hands.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
When you're getting ready in the morning and you walking around and you have on your thigh highs, your heels, you about to put on your dress, your hair is done. That's an amazing sight to see you like that, because in your natural state, that's you getting ready. That's you being at home, being you. And then when everything comes together, you go, your day goes, and you come home, and it's the same thing. You look forward to that. The little conversations during the day, you know what I mean? The little, of course, we're in different times, so the little text. This whole thing about dating and all those things, shopping, everything. You gotta try to remember to keep these things going. Life happens. You gotta incorporate life in everything as well. So not just, especially if you have a family, you for me, pride for me, it makes you feel good. Makes you feel proud that you can see that your children are happy and see that your spouse and all of that stuff. That's part of it for me. Of course, I don't have that right now, but that was it for sure. And it makes you feel proud to know that you were able to be a part of and to maintain that. So all of that plays a role. Again, your family plays a role in seeing your spouse, seeing her happy, to seeing the children happy and everything. But there's so many other things that you can do to spice things up, which is what we're talking about.
But let me interject something. I'm going to read something first. Kurt had said simple things like groceries. I never used to think doing groceries with my ex was a big deal, but your wife actually enjoys it. You care enough to go and load and unload. She's not only your wife, she is your forever girlfriend.
Exactly.
And we're talking about if you have a relationship, what happens in relationships where maybe there was infidelity or there were lies because of finances or whatever, and now you're coming back from there. And I remember, I don't know if it was Stephen Lavoisier or whoever was talking about when you've gotten over that hurdle and you've decided you're going to continue this relationship or marriage. Now you got to start all over again, doing all these things too, because it's not just the mundane things that happen in a relationship. It's also things like that. And you all decide that you're going to continue this relationship. And now you really got to like put in the effort to make this be your priority. Grisette, last night you have made a comment about something. I want you to reiterate that again.
So last night when we were talking, I had heard somewhere on a podcast and had heard an older person repeat it. And what they were saying is like relationships are like a bank account, right? Look at it like a relationship account, if you will. The more deposits you make in the account, the bigger the account is going to grow. But the more you take from the account is going to go into the negative, right? So if I point all these deposits into the account and something drastic happen in the relationship and it causes it to make a major withdrawal, it's going to cause damage to the account, but it's not going to destroy the account, right? Whereas if the account is already in the negative because I just keep taking and taking and taking from the account, what's going to happen is it's going to be detrimental to the account and that will possibly destroy the relationship over one infraction. And if you think about it, even a minor infraction, if your account is already in the negative, a minor thing can be very explosive. Whereas if you have this large account in the positive and you have these little things that happen, which are going to happen in a relationship, you're able to bounce back quicker because you have so much room with all this positive deposits, and some of the ways to make deposits into the accounts is like what you were saying, Debbie, is coming up with things to do, making new memories. What can we do that are going to have something fresh to talk about? When you go on a date, what guardrails do you have set in place so that you're not talking about the kids, the bills, the car that need the oil change, blah, 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 blah. We don't want to hear about that, right? Talk about something else. Come up with something else. And the only way you will have new conversation is if you have new activities, if you have new deposits in the account. And that's honest.
Yeah. But what also, I think, what happens if you're in a relationship and you feel like there's things that need to be done to make it exciting for you, but your partner is comfortable? What happens in that kind of situation?
Somebody leaving somebody.
Not necessarily.
I see that's the thing about always remembering that it's a partnership. Both of you. I like what you say, Janos, about remembering in the beginning. In the beginning, what's in the beginning? We don't see the beginning as the dating and the conversations and the long whatever, right? But what is in the beginning? The beginning is you want to be with this person and you're willing to invest in this person. Right. I always use the word invest because that's what you're doing. I call it the biggest investment you will ever do, especially when you're getting married. Nothing else is more valuable than a human, another human heart, right? So in the beginning, what is it? Yeah, you dated, but it's the connection and you invested in the connection. So what do you do later on? Like Debbie said, if one don't want to invest and the other one don't want to invest, what can you possibly do? What can you do?
Well, you got to figure out what went wrong. Clearly, you got to figure out what.
You have to be willing, both of you. That's the key about a relationship. I don't care how much negligee you wear. I don't care how much conversations you have. At the end of the day, if two people ain't willing to invest in each other, everything is just a waste, right?
We're talking about the possibility that, in fact, so you do have a conversation and you you know, it is actually something where they're no longer interested. What happens then? I mean, are we prepared for that? I mean, how do you repair that now?
You can't repair that, because at the end of the day, if they are not interested,
The mind is already made up.
and that happens in relationship, right? This is just my point. The point that I'm trying to get across is that there are situations, right? And there are situations where sometimes things just ain't going away, right? For many different reasons. We have to think about each other and each other needs and each other wants. I like where Tariq is, your cousin is Tariq. That's like Tariq. What Tariq said, you have to be open. Both people have to be open. Both people have to be willing. Both people have to be putting in the effort. Both people, it's like what Cord said. Your wife, Grisette, you's a walking woman and you got 3 kids. You that are walking all day, sorry, 2. You that are walking all day, then you come home. You tired, but you still got to cook dinner. You still got to get your own homework prepared. You got to do all of these things. Before you thinking of negligee, you got to think about all the responsibilities you got to accomplish for your family that night. And then, so as a couple, what do we do? What do we do as a couple?
Share responsibilities.
Exactly. So that's another way of keeping a relationship interesting, right?
Yeah, these are different times, man. Definitely.
Different times. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you don't. We're not too. I don't think people are too stuck on gender roles anymore. I don't think so. I know I'm not. And so I believe in shared responsibilities. I mean, you got to lighten the load for each other. That's important.
But you know, like how Debbie was saying, let's say you as the woman want to spice things up or want more or feel like depleted, right? Feel like he ain't filling her cup no more. What do you do, right? And in our community, especially in the Caribbean communities, it's very taboo to talk about like couples counseling and things like that. And believe it or not, these things help. You know, you think of a car when your check engine light what goes on and you can't figure out what's wrong with it. You tinker with it a little bit and it don't work. What do? You take it to an expert, you know, and therapy definitely may not help everybody, but it might help you realize, is this the right person to stay with or if it's the right person to leave? And the younger generations are still caught up in that taboo as well, where they're like, I ain't got no therapy. We're going to just be done. We so quick to end it, you know? I
Right.
remember when I had first started dating my husband, every time I would get mad, I had this green bin that I would pack all my stuff in the green bin. I leave it. He do nothing bad, you know. We didn't agree on something, but I pack in my green bin and he would call his mother, yeah, she got in the green bin again. And I take my little green bin up the stairs. I ready to leave. But when you think about it, is it really worth leaving? Sometimes the relationship that we so quick to end is really worth investing in, like how you said, Pinky. But it has to be both people. Like I may have no idea how to fix it, but I know this is who I want to be with. So you have to sit down and have that honest conversation with him. Like, look, you is who I want to be with. Do you want to be with me? So let's do the work. And if we can't figure it out, then let's go to a specialist, somebody who specializes in the work to see if this is where we need to be. You know, there are a lot of things that contribute to a separation of a relationship. And that's one of them, like just giving up, you know?
I had a very naive reaction to counseling. I mean, this is true story. I was presented to me, and my reaction was, nobody can tell me about me that don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
That was my response.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know, realization, time goes by, and it's like, you know, I sort of revisited the idea. Never came to fruition, but I realized my mistake in thinking that was that was my approach, and my thought process was the right way, and it wasn't. And I'm man enough to admit that.
But the thing is that spicing up, these is the little things that cause things to go cold in a relationship, you know. It's the little tiny things. Yes, is we not taking care of ourselves. Yes, is we feeling all of that. But it's the little things when your mate don't care for you, ain't taking care of you, right? Because we have, it's like Yano said, it's like Grisette said, everybody said it, Debbie, you said it too. When we go back to the beginning, for me, I always tell the younger people I'm coming up, take care of your relationship between both of you. Because the children do come involved, but we have to take care of the children together, right? Because the children will only be around for a good 20 years. What happened after that? So in the case, I get married when I was 20 years. By the time I was 40, the kids them gone. I still young. What am I going to do? What are we going to do? We look at each other and we were like, we don't want to do nothing. We didn't invest in each other. A negligee wasn't going to save the day. It was done too far gone. I could have wear it. It would have spiced it up for the moment, right? But what would have happened long term? Because it was so much damage done.
Right.
Now, I had to learn that, like Grisette, I was as a runner. Like, I was ready to run from a relationship. That could cause problems. You can't keep telling a man. I learned that the very, very, very hard way, right? You can't keep telling a man I leaving because that's going to take the spice out the relationship too. You know?
Like, how am I going to try or invest in you if your foot always outside the door? Tell me you here and you staying, then I gonna walk on us. But if every time we get into something you ready to leave, then just go. You don't want to be here. And that was the mentality that we were facing as a couple in the beginning because I was the runner. All the time. I was ready to go. No, I don't need you. I gonna go. We don't agree on one thing, something simple, a simple communication dispute. You ain't seeing it from my point of view. I ready to go. And then how I could expect him to commit to me, to be vulnerable with me? Because a lot of it have to do with vulnerability too. You know, a lot of people are afraid to talk about what they really want done to themselves, what they really feel inside. You know, so how can I expect him to be vulnerable to me and honest with me if at the first chance he mess up or hiccup, I ready to go? You know, that does affect you major.
It does. You
know?
are so right. You are 100% right because it's about vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Who is going to allow themselves to be vulnerable to a situation that they can't trust, right?
Right. You know, and that comes through with like emotional intimacy, especially sometimes, especially on the side of the woman. I could speak from the side of the woman because I still struggle with that in my marriage. Like, emotional intimacy is a big thing. Do you feel safe sharing how you feel and what you think with your spouse? Do they know how to process what you are saying? Do they disregard it? Do you feel invisible? Because if I feel invisible and I feel like you ain't hearing me, you could tell me put on whatever. I am not putting it on. I ain't putting no effort. I go into my bed to sleep on the couch, you know? But when you feel heard,
or you sleep so close to the end of the bed, if you cough, you're gonna fall off and hit your head, right?
Right. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. But if I feel heard and I feel like, wow, he really making the effort, I naturally want to please him. You know, I was reading a book called The 5 Love Languages, right? Everybody to talk about this book, but it really makes sense. If I have a different love language than my spouse, how can I love him? I can't love him the way I want to be loved because that's a foreign language to him. Me and him are two different people. I have to learn how to love him. Oh, that we're not seeing eye to eye. What can I do that will speak and communicate to him directly? What gonna fill his cup? Because what fills my cup ain't gonna fill his cup, you know, and that's a reality too.
Yeah,
you know,
it really is. When I first heard of the 5 love languages too, like it didn't like. I think it was like in 2012 is when I really like read about it, and it made so much sense because, like you said, like you think you're doing everything possible, and even like Louis says, you're communicating, but you think you're doing everything possible. But you're not loving that person the way they need to be loved, and vice versa.
You're speaking to him in a foreign language. He don't have no idea. No, I don't want quality time with you. I want physical touch.
Exactly.
And Tariq said it. Like for me, I had to learn be open. if you're not open in the relationship, okay, now we get through all the problems, right? Like we figure out we nurturing each other, we taking care of each other, we loving each other, right? Things could still get stale, you know. If you then, you know, you're there with somebody for 20 years and you're doing the same position every single time. I mean, that could make it stale. Yeah, no, he come in too late.
What happened? Why miss?
No good. But yeah, you're doing the same thing every single day. You know, it gonna get stale. You have to stay open to hear your mate, because his love language and mine were different. But then I was judging his love language, right? I was like, that don't make no sense. Why we have to spend money on expensive gifts, right? And then I learned that's what a man like. Why he expensive gift? No, I don't buy the expensive gift and I quarreling because I was like, why I gotta be buying these expensive shades? This don't make no sense. Again, even though I buying it, me ain't coming from a place from the heart. I quarreling, right? I cussing. Oh, you get your expensive shades, whatever, right? Again, being open, like Tariq said, listen to your man. We got to compromise. We got to hear what they're saying. One of my favorite well, it wasn't a cartoon, like Avatar, the show The Avatar. That's how they keep saying in the show, I see you, meaning I see you as an individual. I see you as a person. Right. I hearing what you say, and what you say is matter. That in itself to spice up any relationship, to know that you are valuable to another individual and you mean something. You investing in me because you see as a good investment and I investing in you. That will spice it up. People will wear the high heel and the hair up and the lipstick, but you ain't gonna do it if you're not in a happy situation.
Right.
Well,
that I want to throw out there, because it's a taboo topic, and forgive me, Debbie, if this is an inappropriate comment.
No, go girl, don't worry about it.
This is part I with if I can. Let me go.
So we also have to realize, right? The question coming that we live in a very sexualized time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sure. A lot of our issue as well that prevents us from wanting to invest with our spouse is masturbation. We spend a lot of time self-pleasing, right? Whether you watching pornography or you have a vibrator or you watching other women and you go home in your room by yourself, whatever, you self-pleasing. So by the time you finish, you don't feel that desire for your wife or for your husband because you don't take care of your natural urges, right? So what do you think about that?
Do it together. Do it together.
Yeah, right, true.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no,
but you know what, Grisette, I with you, because I with you, and I gonna say this. So well, Debbie and Janos think about it.
I don't need to think. I'm telling you like it is. Do it together. I think it's.
Yeah, but it's like Grisette says.
You get a lot of pleasure by watching your mate perform, and vice versa. And then there's interaction with that. That is amazing.
Okay, but she's saying also pornography and all this other stuff, yeah.
Create your own. Create your own.
I ain't saying it with a couple. I saying it a lot of time in sticking to the topic of being comfortable. A lot of time, it's quicker for the man to be in the bathroom, do his business quickly, get it over with. I don't have to do the rose petals. I don't have to preheat the oven. I don't have to do any of that. I gonna just do my business in the bathroom, get what I need, and then I could go to bed. Or the wife will be like, well, I don't want porn lip gloss, or I don't want porn nothing. I gonna just get off in the bathroom or wherever, watch whatever you watch on the phone. So then by the time the other person come in the room, they're done taking care of. So there's no need for that. And when you're in a relationship where you don't have that intimacy, your body don't yearn for that other person because they don't self-pleasure themselves, what happens then? You don't really want a person, you know?
And that will cause, that will be a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah, because when you desensitize yourself to your spouse, you over here watching the man on the screen who get the 20 odd inch and he going 3 hours and like
and the thing about that, Grisette, and this is my thing with it. I'm if if you're into pornography, you're into pornography, but you have to consider this thought, is what I'm saying. The person into pornography, right? Your mate ain't no professional. Okay. Right. And this is what I keep saying. Your mate ain't no professional, and we don't have these professional bodies, right? It's like Grisette said, you looking at 20 inches and you come into a 6 or 4. I don't know what to say, right? I just saying. There's going to be a problem. I sitting down here because I was like, oh, this was what happened in these modern day marriages, because I ain't had them kind of thing. But my thing was this. I gonna make sure Pinky dying. I walk in.
I'm trying to see where you're going with it, Pinky, but I know you know what's over there. Go ahead.
I'm saying this for me. I always say, look, if I not that I leave in the responsibility, but if it's like you say, look, let me put it like this. Yes, I'm paddling, cause I'm paddling. Sorry. If my husband, right, stop into McDonald's every day before he come home, he's not gonna want the dinner. Okay.
Thank you.
If he got a woman giving him food at work, let me tell you, I would have a problem with it, right? So I gonna just say, if he is constantly satisfying himself, then he's not going to show up 100%. Right. And I feel that you have to show up 100%, and I show up 100%, so we could keep the fire burning. So we could desire each other, and we could want each other, and we could want each other at that level. And there will be times, of course, because nobody ain't gonna always be at that level. And there's sometimes you're gonna just want to just be happy for the moment and get some release. Right? But there are times in the marriage you can't have months and days and all this going on where you doing this kind of stuff, because there is going to be a problem. So I would agree on that, because look, me no professional, I mean a professional body. I can't show up like these people that show up, and don't put that on me because that's too much pressure. And I promise you I wouldn't put it on you. You know what I'm saying? So
because it'll desensitize you. It'll make you just yeah, I could do this by myself quick. Why are you doing all of this with he? Oh, me and he. I don't even have to waste my time and go through all that way. I could do this in the corner quick and get it over with. And I could get my release.
That is a form of communication. That's a form of communication. So I got to come together and communicate in that fashion. Yes, exactly. Very much so.
But will you think about that, Janos? Will you think about that?
Oh, what I said what I thought about that. I mean, definitely get involved. Even if I show in, if you show and I'm going to come in, I go jump in. If I have any opportunity I have that you in the show, I go come in. Any opportunity. Right. And I don't mind you doing it otherwise. I mean, because you got like Rosette said, these things are gonna happen. I mean, there might be a time or two and I might rub one out, or you might rub one out, or you might get in the shower and use a shower head. I've seen that. So it's amazing to see that. So I just think, if you do it together, you incorporate each other, makes it more fun. That's definitely one way to spice things up. Definitely.
You know what else is important? Surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded. Because a lot of the time, we're in a relationship and the man have a bunch of single friends, or the woman have a bunch of single friends. Come, let's go out and do this. Or come, let's go do this. So when you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, they tend to have similar goals, right? You surround yourself. Why are you trying to do this to improve your relationship? That's a good idea. Like when you share the same space with people like that, you tend to kind of feed off of each other if you have the same goals. If you surround yourself with nothing but single people, that's not the best thing for you either, you know?
Right. It's true. And that was one of the things that that paper, what did I do with the paper? That the paper said, the thing that I saw said to surround, because it helps to reinforce the commitment that you have or you're in. So, I mean, you're going to have friends that are in different brackets, but it's that old adage. If you have 9 broke friends, you're going to be the 10th. So you need to have friends that are like-minded, like you said, as well.
And they'll be able to give you great points. Like if you go, I'm pretty sure somebody who's been in a marriage 10 years like me, I may have never met them before in my life, but if we have a conversation, I'm pretty sure we have gone through similar things, or I going through something they've already gone through, so they could kind of help give information and feedback.
Right.
Like you can feed off of each other. It definitely helps. Because
Yeah.
But you know, I want to say because when I was married, I didn't have single friends, right? But I think that too, having some single friends can keep the relationship interesting in the sense, some, because when you too much are like in everything, you're not learning anything new.
Right.
You're not being exposed to new ideas, new concepts, right? Now, that's another thing I think that cause a relationship to go stale. When you just, there is no spontaneity in a relationship, there is no mystery, there is nothing new. It's just the same, 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 same. I know people, I know married people, and I this is just what they accustomed to. They're gonna eat the same meal every night. They don't go to the same restaurants all the time. They don't go to vacation the same, not the same vacation, but everything is the same, the same, the same. There is nothing new. There is nothing, and that can, I don't know, maybe it's just me and my personality, and maybe that works fine for some people. So I'm not gonna say that, but I feel that those are the things. And in these relationships, I have heard people complaining. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be open to new things, and having some single people in your life will bring that in. Having people of different ages will bring that in. People of different culture, because another thing is we like to stick around our own kind of people. That too cause things to get stale. You know, I don't know. That's just my perspective from the outside looking in.
You know,
Yep.
in my relationship,
Yes, you should. Sorry, Cod, you should limit your single friends, of course. I just saying having a few around is not the worst thing in the world. You know, especially if you as an individual know you are strong enough to handle certain situations, because nobody can make you do nothing, you know. At the end of the day, it's the decisions you make. I mean, you could expose people and, you know, but again, at the end of the day, we don't want that. Everything starts with the decision we choose to make. So if we find out that we're in a situation that causing us to maybe drift to the side, me, you know, people that always say don't bring junk food in the house. I like to refer to food, but you know, don't put nothing in your eye gate and your ear gate that you don't want to cause you to drift. If you know you got weakness with it, you should stay away from it. Me, I ain't gonna need an ice cream parlor and I ain't gonna buy ice cream. I know that for myself, so I ain't gonna need. And when I eat the ice cream, I ain't blaming nobody. I know I eat the ice cream because I wanted to eat the ice cream. And that's another thing. We gotta take ownership. We gotta take ownership when the ship's sinking. Just like we gotta take ownership when the ship doing fine, when it's staying afloat.
True. Of course,
So I agree with you, Caught. Go ahead.
No, you were saying something was that, because even for me, like when I had heard, like I never heard, like when I first got married and stuff, you know, the whole you got to continue to date your significant other. Like I never heard that conversation. And it was actually not until I was getting divorced that I heard a pastor talking about that, saying that you have to intentionally date each other. And I was like, well, I mean, we used to go out, we used to do stuff together, but it wasn't necessarily intentional. It was just something to do. But yeah, it really truly is important. And I never again knew that. And that's why, again, having these conversations is important. I mean, fortunate for a lot of people now, we got TikTok, we got YouTube, we got all these kind of things so you can look it up. But having the actual conversation and actually putting this into place. And again, not just in marriage, when you meet somebody, because it's not that people necessarily get married within a certain period of time. They might be dating for a while. And even in that, it gets comfortable. But I never even knew that, you know, we just were living life.
I know I know with my relationship, I could only speak on my relationship. I'd always tell my husband, I don't want no gifts. Let's come up with things that gonna build memories, right? Memories give you things to talk about, they give you things to look forward to. So I have trained myself to always, what's next? What can we do next? What is something we've never done? We've never done this. Let's see how much it costs. Oh, let me save for this. Let me try to get. I have always been constantly processing, how can I, what's next, it's always in my head, so that
Mhm.
way I'm not stuck on monotone. Hi, how was work was great, okay. And I have small children too. I have two small children, and I definitely just get comfortable. I definitely just get lazy. I don't want to do nothing. I want to come in my bed, and before the light switch off, I sleep in. And I as well was it was a factor where I had an illness too that kind of prevented me from doing what I really wanted to do too. So I had to like program myself to intentionally, like going back to that word,
Right.
intentionally come up with things to do. What can I do with my husband that we ain't do yet? Well, and if I have to save money on the side, let's do that. Or even if it's a walk on the beach, or if it's a drive where we roll along the windows and turn up the music loud and just sing, even if it's watching a movie together. And a lot
Or
of
what
people,
else? Or what else you do on the beach?
that too. But doing it on the beach gives you a memory. It gives you something to send a text message about the next day. Like, oh my God, I
Give
still
you
wiping
great,
sand
great,
out of you know
great
where.
time. Great times. Great times.
Exactly. Exactly. You know?
Ah,
And a lot of people think, sitting on the couch. I spending time with him, so I can just sit on the couch and nah. Sitting down on the couch and having that intimate time means the phone comes off. The children in the room sleeping. Maybe he could help me make dinner and clean up quickly so we could put him on to sleep so we could have time. Or we set a plan for somebody to watch them and we make something happen. We have to make it happen because it's
You
not
have to
going to.
make it happen. And
But
you
let
have
me.
to make it interesting, like you said. Like, you go on the beach, you go in the car, you go wherever you could go, because the same position every night in the same room every day for 20 years got to turn
So
down.
then, so my whole fitting room comment last night. Then Pinky, you cool with that because last night you weren't sure about that.
let me ask a question. You said, when did you? Was there something that happened in the relationship that made you like, oh, we got to do something, or was it like having conversations either with other married people or church or whatever that made you decide? Because of course, this is a decision to make your relationship priority and do these new, interesting, fun things.
I am the talker in my relationship. I don't know if y'all ever meet my husband. My husband don't talk at all. We are complete opposites from one another. He is very quiet. Um, I have to have something happening. I am a person that needs mental stimulation. So if you ain't talking to me or we ain't doing something that's introducing a new concept, like how you were saying something new, Pinky, we have nothing happening up here. I dead. And when I dead, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to be intimate. I don't want to have sexual relations. I don't want to hold your hand. I don't want to do nothing. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
I's the
I'm
same way, girl.
bored.
I's the same way.
Right. So it had come to a point where I realized like he was initiating spending time with me or initiating holding my hand or let's go eat, and I to the table and I just like, I bored, you ain't talking, I ain't talking. And I thought to myself like, this is who I really want to be with. This is my plan A. I don't burn all the boats, my foot in the door. This is who I want to be with. What do I need to do so I could fill his cup and then in turn teach him how to fill my cup? Because he ain't come into the relationship knowing how to fill my cup. I all kind of crazy. So that takes a lot to deal with. I had to teach him, but he also had to be willing to learn. So it takes a compromise there. And I ain't perfect neither. And I bring something completely different to the table than what he was accustomed to.
All
So we
right.
both had to get adjusted. So it came to a point where I was tired of just being bored. And I was like, yo, I ain't happy. My cup is empty. I am craving affection. I am craving mental stimulation. I am craving doing something different. Keep your gifts, keep your money, keep Christmas gifts, keep all of that. Give me something new to do. And that's why, like, if you go on my page, Debbie, we are always doing something new because that's our thing. And some people ain't like that, right? But doing something new gives you something to talk about. Because if we sit down to the table, you're gonna naturally talk about your children. You're gonna naturally talk about bills or what we need to. You already planning what you have to do as a woman. Right? You naturally are. When I get from here, I gotta help the children with homework. I gotta cook dinner. So you're not living in that moment. You're already thinking about what you gotta do.
True.
If you give yourself something big to do or something small to do with your spouse, and y'all could actually share that, it sets the pace for a while. Because then I have conversations with you, you know.
But you know why? Like we used to say, Grisette, and this is where I struggled in my marriage, right? I lost my identity, right? So I could not express myself as you express yourself. Like I was just frustrated, right? But I did not know why I was frustrated. And a lot of times we as women do that. We're frustrated. We're looking for our spouse to stimulate us because we don't even know what stimulate. If I don't know what stimulate me, how the heck he gonna know what stimulate me, right? You know, so it's like did I say, get to know you, get to know yourself, get to know your body, right? Get to know who you are. So when you say all of that, it's like you're helping him to understand you, and he's willing, and that helps the situation. A man could say, I like to see my woman in negligee, right? He could say that, right? But as women, sometimes we're taught not to express ourselves, to be so open, to be so vulnerable, because we're going to be judged, right?
Right.
What were you saying, Janis, about a negligee?
Negligee, that's like a 90.
What you want me to say, Teddy?
No, I don't know. Thigh highs, thongs, heels. Spice it up. We're talking about spicing it up, right? Do something different. We're a gata bell. Walking with that there alone.
I would consider that all about a negligee.
Oh, okay. Negligee.
Is it wrong to call all of that?
I'm just saying, you know, we talk about spicing things up. I look at it differently. I mean, quickies in random places, you know.
I just say
it's you as the man. When you see the woman spicing it up, starts with hair.
Yes, but then to know me, know that I'm going to bring you into this realm. We're going to be there together mentally and physically, because that starts with a conversation. This is things. Tell me what you like, because I'm going to tell you what I like.
But that's why I'm saying, Janos, you men could always tell a woman what they like. But from a woman perspective, I had no freaking clue what I had liked. But let me tell you, what spices up something, and I'm learning this at this late stage in life, what spices up things, and this is all from head sitting down studying things, you have to know what a turn you on to. You got to know when you put on the whatever. Me, certain things I gonna feel uncomfortable in, so I'm not gonna wear it because it's not gonna make me show up in that way you want me to show up. I'm not gonna feel sensual or sexy if I wearing certain things. But if I wearing something that I really like and I feel good and I look at myself in the mirror and I like that, then that is going to make me respond and react a different way. And this is also spicing it up. Knowing yourself. This is what I tell Debbie all the time. We have to get to a place where we know ourselves and we know what we like, right? If I meet somebody and they like me into that kind of stuff, I got to say to myself, because I am not in a long-term relationship and I'm meeting people, like if I meet somebody, if you say you ain't into certain things and I know I really like it, let me say I really love the beach. I really, really love the beach. And you really don't want to have nothing to do with beaches ever. I have to ask myself, do I want to be in a relationship with a person who do not really love the things? Now, we will compromise on certain things. There is no doubt about that. But
I'm glad you mentioned compromise, because I hear that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you mentioned compromise, because I wanted to hear you say that with regards to you not putting on certain things, because where's the compromise for pleasing him? Because he might do things that he may not like, but he wants to please you. I'm glad you mentioned that, because at some point that's going to happen. So you may not feel sexy in something, but to him it's the world. And you want to see him smile and make him feel good. So
in that sense, that's a turn on anyway, because if your man gonna like to see you or woman gonna love to see you, what about you? What about men? What about
so I'm gonna do things for you. I mean, I like, but I'm gonna do it because I know it's gonna please you.
So Tariq put here leather suits. men willing to wear the leather suits too.
You want
Like,
to say a man? You want to say a man in a leather suit? That's your thing. Where you gonna say, baby, what a go on?
Oh God, inside joke, everybody. Who's listening?
But
Um,
you know,
In a
Pinky, what
leather
you were
suit.
saying,
In
what
a
you
leather
saying
suit.
that happened, what you were saying that happened. There's a lot of women, and men that have no idea what they really like or what they're really into. That comes with experience. That comes with trying new things. That comes
Time.
with age.
Yeah.
Definitely does.
and it
But
comes with vulnerability and
yes,
self-love and
and
self-care.
honest with the person and be like, this will really make me feel a special way when I into this. Like, I really like this. I like the whatever. And we live in a time now where there's no excuse where we should not have some form of effort put in. We have everything we need right at our fingertips. You can research whatever. There's podcasts that tell you how to feel better about yourself. You could do
I
self-help
know
books.
that's something I have these days. I mean, I don't want
Back
to say
then you didn't have it. And that's a reality. So now what effort are you putting into self-educate yourself on how you could improve yourself and improve your relationship with your spouse? What are you doing? What are you, not what they're doing, what are you doing as an individual to be a better spouse to who you with? And don't even worry about them for the moment. If you focus on yourself and focus on improving yourself and you making that effort, is either they're going to return that effort or they're not. And then if they're not, then that's a different conversation to have.
I like what you say, self-educate, because that's the whole thing. Like, we have to educate ourselves. Like, when you're 20 and you get married, you are not the same woman when you're 30, and you're showing the same woman when you're 35, right? If you stay in for a long period of time. You have to be self-educated the whole time. You have to be evolving, like Tariq said, or Wakot, I can't remember. You have to be evolving, and you have to be open, and you have to be flexible. And you have to compromise. And I don't know. I really don't know about the leather suit and men. I no.
That's what it is.
But let's say,
But I got something with very. I got something with good underwears, because if there's tighty whities, that's a no. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I can tell you something honestly. Before my husband, and this was are we having an honest conversation, right? Honestly, before my husband, the person, the partner that I was with before him, we were younger, and I had put on a lingerie, and he had laughed at me, and it took a lot for me to put on a lingerie for him. So I had feel terrible. It had like just destroyed me because I had to build myself up to do it.
Of course.
So when I meet my husband now, I'm like, nah, me want to destroy what I have with him. I don't want to put on no lingerie, but then I know that's what he likes. So then it's my responsibility. Like, what do I want to please him, or do I stay stuck in this self-conscious mode? It took a long time. And a lot of women go through past traumas in previous relationships that prevent them from being vulnerable with who they're with now, that prevent them from expressing what they need to have their cup filled. So they just kind of accept what is. I was comfortable. If he had never tell me I need to wear lingerie again, I'd have been okay, great. But he had to express like, yo, like, I is not he. And he had clearly shown me like, yo, I ain't he. So we were good, I had to get past that hurdle. You know what I'm saying?
And in my last relationship, he didn't like them things. He didn't like them. I come to figure out I like them. So, hey, I like them. And if I find somebody who ain't interested in them, I probably won't be interested either, because I like it. I really like it. So if I like it, then why would I just give it up again when I don't give it up for 25 years? I ain't giving it up again. Well, what am I going to do? When I'm 60? No. When I'm 75? Hell no. So let me do what I could do while I still young. That's just it. But no, go add with your leather pants.
No, we're not leather pants.
What for these last couple of minutes? What are some exciting things that you have seen people do, or you hope to do, to keep a relationship exciting?
that you saw people do, like
Yeah, I
That you've
don't know.
seen other people experience or whatever that you would like for your relationship, either present day or future, that are things that you definitely want to incorporate to make your relationship stay exciting.
well, let me start with you. Give us an example.
Yeah, Debbie, give us an example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you seem to have slip underneath the rug all night. So let me start with you.
I haven't really thought about anything, but to me, I'm a person that, like, I go with the flow. If I see something and I want to do something, or something comes in my mind, I'm gonna do it, you know? Traveling is definitely
Me
thing for
too.
me, you know, traveling different places, different countries. Um, for me, I'm all about an experience. So just like Reset said, like, those are big things that I want to do. I couldn't do that. Um, I didn't want to do that. Let me put it that way, in my marriage. But I couldn't do it either because my kids were small. Now they're grown. So, um, and when I'm, a lot of this COVID stuff is died down a little bit more, I definitely want to travel. I want to do fun, different, spontaneous things. I've been saying for years I want to do what do you call it? Oh my God, they just opened one up at Carambola.
Zip
Like,
lining.
Zip lining. I have a fear of heights, but that's something I would like to conquer, and I would like to do that as an experience, but I'm also one of these people, like, I'm open to a lot of, eating different foods that I've never had before. Just doing different things. And like Lisette said, for me, it's about creating memories. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can always go back to it. And like she said, you could talk about, you did this, you did that, whatever, and just do spontaneous things.
So wait, I was trying to get your question. So what have you seen other people do that? Okay. So Grisette, I gotta think about that then. I
Right
don't
off
think
the bat, right off the bat, traveling. Me and my husband have established like traveling works for us. It gives us something to talk about. It gives us um it opens us to new cultures. It gives us more, like we just eat it up. For example, in July, we make 10 years, we're gonna be 10 years married. I just clicked the button the other day on booking.com. We going Santo Domingo, we going Punta Cana, okay? An adult only, all resort, women could be topless. Like, this is where we going. Can I really afford it right now? No. But do I want to do it? Yes. We never had a honeymoon. We never had a wedding. We're doing it. And we're going to just put it in the air, and they're going to just walk out. Traveling is a big deal for me. And it don't even got to be traveling outside of where we live, getting in a car and going someplace, doing something. I'm all about doing new things, because by doing new things, it generates new conversation, which is what I want. I don't want to be talking about the things I did 10 years ago. It's nice to reminisce, but I like to talk about the current. So definitely traveling. I gonna just sit out alone, traveling.
I like how you put that reminiscing, because that used to irritate the skin off of my back when we gotta keep talking about what happened 10 years ago. It's like, really? Like, how long we gonna keep talking about this thing, experience that happened 10 years ago? But anyway, that'll bother me in any conversation. It don't just have to be with my mate. We just conversation with friends. Like, if we gotta keep talking about the same thing over and over, I'd just zone out and I don't know where the conversation going. To answer your question, Debbie, I ain't gonna say the things that I would like to experience. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I have a whole long list, and I don't want to say, but that's all I'm gonna say. But
So all of them are things
so
you can't share.
yeah, traveling, of course, but I don't see traveling as something that's why I asked you for an example. Like, traveling is something you could do. Would that spice up relationships? Yeah, because it's like you said, like going to different places. But I mean, I don't travel all the time. I travel in a couple times this year. So that's not, of course, you want travel. I want travel. But to
Yeah,
me,
but
that
trust in me, traveling by yourself, traveling with a family member, and traveling with the person you love, care about is different.
yeah, but to me, that what I'm saying is I'm not looking. You say if I've seen something that other people done that I want to do.
Yeah.
No, because I don't travel anyway, and I will travel anyway, and I'm quite sure the experiences of traveling will be fine anyway. So traveling is not, that's something that gonna happen. So when you say stuff like that, and no, I haven't seen anything that anybody do that would have sparked something that I want to do. I kind of just, I have a very vivid imagination. I could go in my own head and figure out why. I know I want to eat, and I don't, I just know how I might get some ideas, I guess. I don't know, but I don't really be watching stuff to spark my ideas these days, because when you're by yourself, you don't need no sparking ideas. You just need to just be chill and watch period pieces. Like, so your mind don't be going no place it don't need to go. You just need to stay centered. So no. But yeah.
Let me just, before Louis answers this. Oh gosh, it's doing that thing. Tarek said at a wedding, his friend and his wife, I guess, got a lockbox. They put a bottle of wine and a letter they wrote to each other in it. And it's for when they get into that first big fight to bring them back to why they love each other.
Aww.
That's sweet and intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard that before.
That's
Nice.
So,
That's nice.
let me respond to Debbie. Again, keep it simple. I've seen those questions on Facebook. People have had these posts where they'll be like, give a check or a point for everything that you've done. It'll have like 40 things to see how the highest number you could get. And I would start by saying, "Don't judge me." And I was just
your number is high,
because it'd be like 5, and I'll have like 38, 36. Instead of because
That's just wild.
Because I'm spontaneous. I'm traveling. I've done a lot of that. I've been a lot of places. I believe in keeping things live. I believe in keeping, being a little wild and crazy in the moments. I believe in keeping things fun. I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to push it to the envelope as far as I could push the envelope. I'm going to push it. And I believe in doing things like that. I think it's just, I must say this, and I know, like I'm married anyway, but I know my ex-wife would agree that we in that department we had a lot of fun. That was a good thing. So I will continue to be that type of individual. Sort of I wouldn't say careless or carefree, but definitely interested and spontaneous, and keep things just lively. I believe in that very much, and I've said it before. I'm a very affectionate person. I love to touch, I love to feel, I love to be in someone's company. And when we were talking about, when we were going through the whole COVID thing about dating and about you guys are trying to get me to do the online dating, I can't because I need to be in your presence. I need to touch you. I need to smell you. I need to feel you. I need to be with you.
Then he goes with that talking.
I'm just saying.
He to be in the camera.
Louis, you see, Trisha said Louis is being the devil's advocate still.
Always, honey.
I wouldn't say it's inappropriate, but it's just, those that said that.
Inappropriate, Janos. It was inappropriate. Okay.
Make everything inappropriate to you, please. You'll be all right.
Well, I mean, again, this discussion is just important for people to have that are in relationships, because again, my word is intentional. That was something that I wasn't in my marriage, well, for many reasons. But I do believe that no matter what you're doing, relationships, including your career, your retirement, your raising your children, you have to be intentional. So this is definitely something that when I got married I never even thought about this. It was just, we went out, we did things, but not necessarily that we set aside a date a week or a day every 2 weeks that we did something. Like I said before, the pastor of the church I used to attend said that he and his wife had made a decision that I think it was like Tuesday was their date night. He picked something that they would do one week, and then she picked something they do the next week, so that everybody gets to do things. And it just simple as both going and getting your feet done. But it was always something, or deciding that they could put the kids to bed early and they have a little date thing in front of the TV and watch a movie. But I'm just saying, those weren't things that I had conversations about when I got married. And again, even in just a relationship where you're getting to know someone, and again, in the beginning, it's wonderful, but then over time, it does die down. And so what intentional things are you doing to keep that spark going if this is definitely a relationship that you want to continue? Paying attention to the other person. Even just a conversation, you heard them say they like something, and then you surprise them with it. Those are
my girlfriend, what she likes that, right? And what her husband will do is he'll just buy tickets for them to go to Colorado or someplace for the weekend. And I mean, when she even just telling the story, you could see how her face light up. Did she ever tell him that she likes that she like when he just surprised her with these things? She never told him. He just know that she like it, and he just shows up and he does it.
Right. And that's because it makes, number one, it makes the person feel like you're paying attention, and number two, you literally took the time to do something that that other person is genuinely going to like. And so those are, again, things that I never had these conversations about when I got married. So
I wanted to add this for people in the second part of life. When your children them gone, and after you raise your children and you invested those 20 years, you have earned a right now to enjoy that other half of your life. You already put in the time to your family. Invest in the beginning, invest throughout the relationship. But when the kids them leave, if it's not too late, because sometimes it's just too late at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to find it again in yourself first, and then in that relationship. You got to be intentional, and you got to put the work in. We are not realizing that it requires work to get things done, and the work starts with ourselves first. You earn the right to enjoy that second half, to own what it is you want in life. Don't get complacent with the age thing and get comfortable. And I just want to be comfortable, and I don't want to do my hair, and I just want to wear slippers. If that's what you want to do, fine. If that's what you want to do, and if it makes the two of you happy, fine. But if it's not, don't be afraid to look into something different. Don't be afraid of change. That's the word, change.
Change, value, investment, intentional, all those words. Grisette, thank you for joining us, and I hope to have you back again. Louis, Pinky, Lucien is...
Honey, you miss Louis carrying on up here all year with his baby stuff. I just want to tell you that. Talking about baby. He's talking about baby.
So yeah. I thank you all for viewing. Hope this sparks conversation within your circles, your relationships, your marriage. And again, maybe share with us, even in our DM, some fun, spontaneous things that maybe we can put a list.
Share it on a page.
Ideas of things that they can do. Maybe I'll put up a post, and then everybody just comment ideas that people maybe didn't think about that can spice up and continue to keep that relationship.
Keep it PG, borderline R.
You of all people saying that?
Oh, I just say it from this Facebook,
That's true.
Make
it appropriate.
Keep it as neat as possible. But definitely thanks to Grisette, thanks to Debbie and Pinky. It's good to be back, and just going to say, wishing everyone good things, great things, beautiful things. And I'm going to add to that and just say, love freely, love truly, and love passionately.
Mm-hmm. He wants somebody in his DM. Mm-hmm.
How would you say that?
I'm sorry, because women, you see the post I put up today? Women and our ears will get us in trouble. So
I'm speaking from the heart, though. That's different.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said it.
That's different.
I appreciate that. That was nice.
Deep things.
Damn,
it's like you to be all up in the camera, just like
going off. I mean, that was quick, Debbie.
He be acting like he could lick the camera.
Debbie, that was quick, Debbie. Damn. Excuse me. I gotta go.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, you got DM? You see?
No, no.
Thank you all. Stay tuned for next week. We're gonna have a one of our professionals back again to talk to us. So definitely listen in next week. We'll have Dr. Reynolds with us. I want everybody to please stay safe, take care, be well, and continue to comment, post, so that we can create this healthy community. Okay.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for the comments.
Thanks again.